if the police department were here, the school police were here, they might say in defense of themselves or those elected officials who put that money in that budget, and I'm not saying I disagree, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
They might say to you, Manuel, how then do you explain or what is your response to the fact that 1 out of every 3 teens in this country who is arrested at school? 1 out of every 3 teen arrests in this country happens not out there, it happens inside schools.
Well, let's talk about what is considered the breaking of the crime, right? It's like the modern new black codes that we have in our schools and our streets. And so in LA, what have we stopped? Has been the practice of LAPD and school police putting checkpoints in front of schools, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes after school, the bell rang. Now, when we told LAPD, well, why do you do it, an hour after the bell rings? They said, well, the bang for a buck is not going to be there. So if we got to understand clearly then that it's a very design aspect to what's playing out. If we look at right now, we're fighting now the whole form of criminalization that happens in the schools. So we've made some major improvements to stop that practice by LAPD and school police. We got the LAPD, the mighty LAPD, to have to sit down with us to end that practice. They put a new enforcement mechanisms. Tickets have gone down almost 50%. And more importantly, for African American youth, who are the ones that are getting the target the most, those numbers have fallen almost 60%. Again, that was a community fight. It just didn't happen sort of people woke up one day and said, oh, I got to do the right thing,
Kind of like stop and frisk fights we had in New York.
And, to be honest, even though we're very proud of our victory, which is, that we were able to change the law, that we were able to work with the courts, that we forced LAUSD and the city to open up these 13 new centers where young people go, right? On the reality, though, we didn't really change the law because the law, we didn't end the law, and the law in some ways is a legalized form of stop and frisk. Yeah. So I would say, to me, we have to really consider what is considered a crime in our schools today. Right. As you said earlier, something that I'm so lucky. I'm a school dropout. I'm proud of that in many ways. Even though the only thing I would say about the video is I wouldn't call it a dropout rate, right? Because when you think about 30–40% of young people leaving schools, that is no longer an individual choice, right? Individual choice would have been 1%, 2% of the students saying, "Hey, I'm leaving school." But if you're the first people you encounter are police officers in your schools, it's the checkpoint. That's Manuel Arts High School. I checked, right, where all the little check-in went every time we come in late. So I would say, I think the unfortunate aspect that's playing out is that the criminal justice system has gone into the playground, and that in many ways I call it a minefield of broken laws inside the schools. So you got a marker, you're a tagger. If you wear a certain color, you're a gang member. If you get into a fight, if you're lucky, you're just gonna get a ticket that costs you $75, right? If you're unlucky, you'll go assault and battery. So to me, again, we have to really understand what is the function of what the police is playing in our schools. And again, we have the largest ratio of students to counselors. And I think, again, where are we putting the money?